My parents kept breaking into my apartment, so I moved without telling them and let them panic. The throw pillows were wrong. I stood in my doorway, keys still in hand, staring at my couch. The navy blue pillow that I always kept on the left was now on the right. The cream one with tassels sat where the navy should be. Someone had been in my apartment. My name is Diana, and I'm 26 years old. When I signed the lease on my first apartment in downtown Portland 3 months earlier, I thought I'd finally achieved independence. My own space, my own rules. No more living under my parents' roof, following their schedules, answering their endless questions about where I was going and when I'd be back. My mother, Patricia, had asked for a spare key on move-in day. "Just for emergencies, sweetheart," she'd said, tucking a strand of her highlighted blonde hair behind her ear. "What if there's a fire? What if you get hurt and we need to check on you?" It seemed reasonable at the time. Parents worry. That's what they do. So I handed over the spare key, watched her clip it onto her keychain next to the little photo charm of me from high school, and thought nothing of it. But now, standing in my living room at 6:30 on a Wednesday evening, I knew exactly what had happened. The rearranged pillows weren't the only evidence. 3 Tupperware containers sat on my kitchen counter. Leftovers I definitely hadn't made. Lasagna, potato salad, chocolate chip cookies. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. "Hope you found the food. Stop by to drop it off. Your place is coming together nicely, though you really should add more color to that living room. Love you." I called her immediately. "Diana, did you get my text?" Her voice was bright, cheerful, completely oblivious to the problem. "Mom, you can't just let yourself into my apartment. I brought you dinner. You've been working so hard at that marketing firm, and I know you don't have time to cook proper meals." "That's not the point. You need to call first. You need to ask permission." She laughed. Actually laughed. "Diana, honey, you're my daughter. I don't need an appointment to see you. I was in the neighborhood, I had extra food, and I used the key. That's what the key is for." "The key is for emergencies." "Well, you not eating properly is an emergency to me. Now, did you try the lasagna yet? I used that recipe from Aunt Carol, the one with the Italian sausage." I pressed my fingers to my temples, feeling a headache forming. "Mom, I'm serious. Next time, call first." All right, don't be so sensitive. I'll talk to you later, sweetie." She hung up before I could respond. I stood there in my kitchen, holding my phone, telling myself I was overreacting. She was just being a mom. An overbearing mom, sure, but she meant well. The food was actually pretty good, and it saved me from ordering takeout again. I should have trusted my instincts. I should have asked for that key back right then. Because 2 weeks later, things got worse. The shampoo bottle didn't belong to me. I'd stumbled into my bathroom on a Saturday morning, barely awake, ready to take a shower before meeting my friend Stephanie for brunch. That's when I saw it. A purple bottle of Salon brand shampoo sitting on the shelf in my shower. Not my brand, not my color, not mine. I picked it up, reading the label. Moisture Renewal Formula, $90 a bottle. My sister Ashley's favorite. My 23-year-old sister, who lived an hour away in Salem, working as a dental hygienist and constantly complaining about how expensive her apartment was. My sister, who had apparently spent the night in my apartment without asking. I was still standing there, holding the shampoo bottle like evidence at a crime scene, when my phone rang. Mom. "Good morning, sweetheart. Did Ashley remember to leave you a thank you note?" "A thank you note for what?" "For letting her crash at your place last night. She had a date in Portland and didn't want to drive home late. I told her she could use your apartment since you're always at work anyway." The casual way she said it, like this was completely normal, completely acceptable, made my blood pressure spike. "You gave Ashley access to my apartment? Without asking me?" "Diana, she's your sister. You would have said yes anyway." "That's not the point, Mom. This is my home. You can't just—" "Oh, don't be so dramatic. She slept on your couch, used your shower, and was gone by 7 a.m. You weren't even there. What's the big deal?" The big deal is that I didn't know about it. What if I'd come home late and found a stranger in my apartment? She's not a stranger, she's your sister. That's not. I took a deep breath, trying to calm down. Mom, you cannot give people access to my apartment. I don't care if it's Ashley, or Dad, or the Pope. This is my space. My private space. You're being selfish. The word hit me like a slap. Excuse me? Your sister needed help. And you're throwing a tantrum about her using your shower. Family helps family, Diana. I don't know what's gotten into you since you moved out, but this attitude needs to stop. She hung up. I sat down on the edge of my bathtub, still holding Ashley's expensive shampoo, feeling like I was going crazy. Was I being selfish? Was I overreacting? These were my parents, my sister. They weren't strangers. They weren't dangerous. But the knot in my stomach told me something was very wrong. I called Ashley. Hey, Di, did you get Mom's message? Did you stay at my apartment last night? Yeah, thank you so much. I had dinner with this guy from Tinder and it ran late, and I was too tired to drive all the way back to Salem. Mom said it was cool if I crashed at your place. Ashley, you need to ask me, not Mom. But it's Mom. She has a key. I figured she cleared it with you. She didn't. There was a pause. Oh, I'm sorry? I didn't think it was a big deal. You weren't even home. That phrase again. You weren't even home, as if that made it okay. Just, next time, text me first, please. Sure, yeah. Sorry, Di. But I could hear it in her voice. She didn't really understand why I was upset. None of them did. That afternoon, I drove to my parents' house in the suburbs. The same house I'd grown up in, with the red front door and the garden gnomes Mom collected. Dad was in the garage, working on his Chevy truck. Diana, what a nice surprise. He wiped his hands on a rag, smiling. My father, Robert, was 58, with gray hair and the kind of weathered face that came from 30 years of working construction. I need to talk to you and Mom. His smile faded. Everything okay? No, everything's not okay. We went inside. Mom was in the kitchen, preparing her famous pot roast. The house smelled like onions and beef and childhood Sunday dinners. Diana, stay for dinner. I can't. I need my key back. Mom's wooden spoon clattered into the pot. She turned to face me, her expression cycling through confusion, hurt, and then anger in the span of 3 seconds. Your key? The spare key I gave you. I need it back. Why on earth would you need it back? Dad had followed me into the kitchen, closing the garage door behind him. I could feel both of them staring at me, and suddenly I was 12 years old again, being interrogated about a bad grade or a missed curfew. But I wasn't 12. I was 26. And this was my life. Because you're using it to enter my apartment without permission. You let yourself in to drop off food. You gave Ashley access to stay over without asking me. That key was for emergencies only. Mom's face flushed red. Bringing my daughter food is an emergency. Making sure you're taken care of is an emergency. You work yourself to death at that job. You barely eat. You never call. I call you 3 times a week. And now you want to cut us out completely? After everything we've done for you? I'm not cutting you out. I'm asking you to respect my boundaries. Boundaries. She said the word like it tasted bad. That's what they teach you at that company, isn't it? All those corporate buzzwords, boundaries, personal space, as if your own mother is some kind of threat. Patricia. Dad's voice was quiet, but firm. He only used her first name when things were serious. She ignored him. I raised you. I fed you, clothed you, paid for your college, and now you're standing in my kitchen accusing me of what, exactly? Being a good mother? You're breaking into my apartment. It's not breaking in when I have a key. I gave you that key for emergencies, not for surprise visits, not for letting other people stay over. She grabbed a dish towel, twisting it in her hands. Tears welled up in her eyes. The same tears that had gotten her out of speeding tickets, gotten me out of punishment when Dad was angry, gotten her way in every family argument for as long as I could remember. I can't believe you're doing this to me. I'm your mother. I worry about you every single day. You're out there all alone in that apartment, and God forbid something happens and we can't get to you. Nothing's going to happen to me. You don't know that? What if there's a fire? What if you fall in the shower? What if someone breaks in? Then I'll call 911 like a normal person. Dad stepped between us. Diana, I think you're being paranoid. The words stung more coming from him. Dad was the reasonable one, the calm one, the one who taught me to change a tire, balance a checkbook, stand up for myself. I'm not paranoid. I'm asking for basic respect. He crossed his arms. We're not giving the key back. The room went silent, except for the bubbling pot roast. What? You heard me. We're not giving it back. We're your parents, Diana. This is ridiculous. Then I'll change my locks. Mom gasped. You wouldn't dare. Watch me. I left without another word, drove straight back to my apartment and Googled locksmiths, found one with same-day service. By 8 p.m. that night, I had brand new deadbolts on both my front door and my sliding balcony door. I kept all 3 keys. For 2 weeks, I felt victorious. I'd drawn a line. I'd stood up for myself. My apartment was mine again. Then I came home from work on a Thursday and found Mom sitting on my couch. My briefcase slipped from my hand, hitting the floor with a thud that echoed through my apartment. Mom sat on my couch, with a cup of tea on the coffee table and a magazine open in her lap, like she lived here. How did you get in here? She looked up, smiled, and held up a shiny new key. My heart hammered against my ribs. Where did you get that? I called your landlord. Nice man, that Mr. Henderson. I explained that I was your mother and needed access in case of emergencies. He understood completely, gave me a copy yesterday. The room tilted. I grabbed the back of my armchair to steady myself. You went behind my back, to my landlord. Don't be so dramatic, Diana. She set down her magazine. Better Homes and Gardens, of course. I'm your mother. I have every right to check on you. And thank God I did. Have you seen your refrigerator? There's nothing in there but yogurt and some questionable takeout containers. Get out. Excuse me? Get out now. She stood up slowly, collecting her purse with deliberate, martyred movements. I cannot believe the way you're speaking to me. I came here out of love, out of concern, and this is how you treat me? You manipulated my landlord into giving you unauthorized access to my apartment. That's not love, that's control. It's motherhood. She moved toward the door, pausing to look back at me. When you have children of your own, you'll understand. You never stop worrying. You never stop needing to know they're safe. There's a difference between worrying and stalking. Her face went hard. I'll be keeping this key, for emergencies. The door closed behind her with a soft click. I stood there shaking for a full minute before I could move. Then I called my landlord. Mr. Henderson, this is Diana Shepherd in Unit 412. Oh, Diana, your mother stopped by yesterday. Lovely woman. She was very concerned about... Mr. Henderson, under absolutely no circumstances are you to give anyone, and I mean anyone, access to my apartment without my explicit written permission. That includes my parents. A pause. I'm sorry. I didn't realize there was an issue. Your mother was very convincing. She said you'd been unwell and she needed to check on you. I'm perfectly fine. She lied to you. If she or anyone else asks for access again, you need to call me first. Do you understand? Yes, of course. I apologize. I should have verified with you. It won't happen again. I hung up and immediately called a different locksmith. Changed my locks again. Sent Mr. Henderson a certified letter stating that only I was authorized to enter my apartment, and any breach of this would be considered a violation of my lease. 3 weeks of peace followed. 3 weeks where I thought maybe, finally, the message had gotten through. Then I came home to my window screen on the floor and fresh laundry folded on my bed. The casserole sat in my refrigerator like evidence. Chicken and rice with a cream sauce, still warm, covered in aluminum foil. A sticky note attached to the top. "You're not eating enough. Love, Mom." My hands were shaking as I checked my apartment. Nothing stolen, nothing damaged, just violated. My dirty laundry, which I'd left in a hamper in my bedroom, had been washed, dried, folded, and put away in my dresser drawers. My dishes, which I'd left in the sink that morning, were clean and stacked in the cupboard. And my window, my second-floor window, stood wide open, the screen lying on the floor beneath it. I walked over to the window and looked down. There was a trellis attached to the building, decorative latticework covered in climbing roses. Sturdy enough to climb. She'd climbed it. My 55-year-old mother had climbed a trellis to break into my apartment. I called her. She answered on the first ring. "Diana, did you find the casserole? I used that recipe you always loved. The one from... Did you climb through my window?" Silence. "Mom, answer me. Did you climb through my window to get into my apartment?" Well, the door was locked. Her voice was defensive now, petulant. "What was I supposed to do? I made you a nice dinner, I did your laundry, and now you're yelling at me." "I'm yelling at you because you broke into my apartment." "It's not breaking in when it's family, Diana. You're being ridiculous. You climbed through my window because you changed the locks again. If you would just give us a key like a normal daughter, I wouldn't have to go to such extremes. This is your fault, not mine." I ended the call and immediately dialed Dad. "Hello, sweetheart. Did you know Mom broke into my apartment through the window?" A sigh. "Your mother told me she stopped by." "She didn't stop by, Dad. She climbed a trellis and broke in through my window because I wouldn't give her a key." "Diana, your mother worries about you. She can't sleep at night thinking about you all alone in that apartment. If you would just cooperate, she wouldn't have to resort to..." "Resort to breaking and entering? That's what you're calling this? You're making this much harder than it needs to be. Just give us a key. Let us check on you. That's all she wants." "No. Diana, I'm an adult. I have the right to privacy in my own home. And we have the right to make sure our daughter is safe. You're being selfish and paranoid, and frankly, I'm disappointed in you." He hung up on me. I sat on my couch, the same couch where I'd found Mom sitting uninvited, and stared at my window, at the trellis visible through the glass, at the climbing roses swaying gently in the evening breeze. I could change the locks 100 times. I could install cameras, deadbolts, chains. It wouldn't matter. They would always find a way in. They believed they had the right. They believed my independence was temporary, my boundaries were negotiable, my adulthood was optional. There was only one solution. I had to disappear. The new apartment building stood on the northwest side of Portland, in the Pearl District. 20 stories of glass and steel, with a doorman named Victor, who took his job very seriously. The lease required a credit check, first and last month's rent, and a hefty security deposit. It cost $400 more per month than my current place. I signed the papers on a Tuesday morning, took the keys from the leasing agent, and told absolutely no one. For the next 2 weeks, I planned. I took a Friday off work, telling my boss I had a medical appointment. I rented a moving truck. I called 2 friends I trusted, Stephanie and Olivia, girls I'd met at a book club who didn't know my parents and had no reason to contact them. "You're really not going to tell them?" Stephanie asked as we loaded boxes into the truck. She was 28, a paralegal with short black hair and an impressive ability to carry heavy objects. "If I tell them, they'll show up and try to stop me, or worse, they'll follow me to the new place." Olivia taped up another box of kitchen supplies. "This is some spy movie stuff, Di. Are you sure it's necessary?" "They broke in through my window. Yes, it's necessary." We worked fast. By 3 p.m., my apartment was empty. Every piece of furniture, every box, every trace of me, Gone. I cleaned obsessively, scrubbing floors, wiping down walls, making sure nothing remained. At 5:30, I walked through the empty rooms one last time, then locked the door and dropped my keys in Mr. Henderson's mailbox. The new apartment was smaller but safer. 16th floor. Doorman. Keycard access to the elevators. Guest sign-in policy strictly enforced. I unpacked boxes until midnight, hung my curtains, arranged my furniture. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. Saturday and Sunday passed normally. Mom texted me a recipe for beef stew. I sent back a thumbs-up emoji. Dad sent a photo of his truck with new tires. I replied, "Looks great." Then, on Monday, I stopped responding. By Tuesday afternoon, my phone was exploding. 17 missed calls, 12 text messages. "Diana, call me." "Diana, where are you?" "Diana, why aren't you answering?" I let it ring. Wednesday brought voicemails. Mom's voice increasingly frantic. "Sweetheart, please call us back. We're worried. Did something happen? Are you okay?" I deleted them. Thursday morning, I woke up to 23 missed calls. The most recent voicemail made my stomach drop. Mom's voice was hysterical, breaking. "We're at your apartment, and it's completely empty. There's nothing here. Diana, where are you? What happened? Oh God, Robert, what if something—" The message cut off. I waited an hour. Let them panic. Let them feel a fraction of the violation I'd felt every time they'd invaded my space. Then I called back. Mom answered before the first ring finished. "Diana? Oh, thank God. We didn't know your apartment is—" "Why would you think something terrible happened to me?" "Because everything is gone. Your apartment is completely empty. There's nothing there." I kept my voice steady, calm. "That's not an explanation. Why are you at my apartment right now?" The line went quiet. "Mom, I asked you a question. Why are you at my apartment?" We were worried. You weren't answering your phone." "I didn't answer for 2 days. 2 days, Mom. And your response was to break into my apartment again?" "We didn't break in, She faltered. "You what? Climbed through the window again? Convinced Mr. Henderson to let you in again? Which method of breaking and entering did you use this time?" I heard fumbling, then Dad's voice. "Diana, what the hell is going on? Where are you? Where's all your stuff?" "I moved." "You what?" "I moved to a new apartment because you two refused to respect my boundaries." "We're your parents. We have every right to check on you." "No, Dad, you don't. You climbed through my window because I wouldn't give you a key. You manipulated my landlord. You entered my home repeatedly without permission. That's not parenting. That's stalking. That's not— We were worried about you." "Then call me. Text me. Ask to visit like normal people. You don't get to break into my home." "Fine." His voice was hard now, angry. "Fine. Give us your new address." "No." "Excuse me?" I said no. "Diana, you proved I can't trust you. You proved that no lock, no boundary, no clearly stated request for privacy will stop you from doing whatever you want. So no, I'm not giving you my address." Mom grabbed the phone back. "We are your parents. You can't just cut us off." "I'm not cutting you off. I'm protecting myself. There's a difference." "This is insane. You're being paranoid and cruel and—" "I'm being an adult who gets to decide who enters my home. That's my right. You took that right away from me over and over again, even after I explicitly told you to stop. You left me no choice." "Diana, please." Her voice cracked. "Please don't do this. We love you. We just want to make sure you're safe." For a moment, just a moment, I felt guilty. But then I remembered coming home to find her sitting on my couch, finding my window screen on the floor, the way Dad had crossed his arms and said, "We're not giving the key back. If you want a relationship with me, it happens on my terms. We can meet for coffee. We can have dinner at restaurants. We can talk on the phone. But you don't get access to my home. Not anymore. You can't be serious. I'm completely serious. When you're ready to respect my boundaries, let me know. Until then, this is how things are. I hung up before either of them could respond. That was 4 months ago. They still don't know where I live. They still call, less frequently now, but they call. We've had coffee twice at a Starbucks downtown. The conversations were tense, uncomfortable, filled with loaded silences and careful words. Mom cried both times. Dad barely spoke. But they haven't asked for my address again. They haven't tried to follow me home. They're learning slowly that I meant what I said. Last week, Mom texted me. I made pot roast, your favorite. Would you like to come over for dinner on Sunday? I stared at the message for a long time before responding. I'll be there at 6. It's not forgiveness, not yet, maybe not ever, but it's a start. On my terms, at my pace, with boundaries firmly in place. Because I'm not their little girl anymore. I'm Diana, 26 years old, with my own apartment that has a doorman and locks that only I have keys to. And I'm never giving those keys away again.